We're just going to try and get at least one more thing in, which is our student council president. He does the promotion address. If all of that goes well, and we're still there, I'll let Maggie come up and do the benediction, and we'll go right into the recessional. So at this time, let me introduce a fine young man. I hope he gets a speech, and he's been a tremendous leader, a great young man, our student council president, Lala.
Respected Mr. Hughes, members of the board, Mr. Hughes, faculty, staff, family, and friends, good evening. My name is Lala, and I will be delivering the student address. 3 years ago, September 1995, small, confused sixth graders tremble at the sight of the giant eighth graders. We hang our heads low, praying not to be noticed. Anticipation and fear haunts our minds as we wonder who in our class will survive and who won't. Thoughts race through my mind. Will I be able to open my locker? Will I make it to class on time? Will I be able to find my way through the building? June 17, 1998. Today we can look back to that day, 3 years ago, and smile at how much we've grown and matured. We feel a tremendous sense of accomplishment. This is the day when life comes to a standstill and we contemplate our actions and how we've changed.
I would never interrupt a student, but in the interest of safety, we're going to move inside. Okay?
Thoughts race through my mind. Will I be able to open my locker? Will I make it to class on time? Will I be able to find my way through the building? Will I survive the rain and thunder? June 17, 1998. Today we can look back to that day, 3 years ago, and smile at how much we've grown and matured. We feel a tremendous sense of accomplishment. This is the day when life comes to a standstill and we contemplate our actions and how we've changed. Sixth grade separated us all into various social groups and cliques. However, with the passing of time and the process of maturation, we find ourselves in a different realm. We are now friends with the most unlikely individuals. We think and feel things that we never would have back then. There are definite reasons for the change we see in ourselves today. I'm sure that quadratic equations and y equals mx plus b have helped us grow tremendously. Just kidding, Mrs. Alzari. However, the main reason of why we see this change is because of the people here. The teachers and parents and the friends we've made here are priceless. They have helped us find ourselves, be confident in who and what we are, and have changed our outlooks on life. They have made us independent thinkers. Our experience at Eisenhower has helped us understand that education is more than schooling. It is a cast of mind, a willingness to see the world with an endless sense of curiosity and wonder. We have seen that we are all ever-changing, ever-matured, ever-learning, teachers, parents, and students included. Through ups and downs, good times and bad times, failures and successes, we learn what's important in our lives and what's not. These teachers have helped us take off some of the veils so we can eventually discover our own identities. In preparing this speech, I came across a passage in a book of quotes I would like to share with all of you today. With each ending comes a new beginning. The key lies in recognizing the paths and possibilities that open up to us. We must seize the opportunities presented by change, hold on to them, and shape them into goals. These actions often determine our success. It can be challenging, even frightening, but if it weren't, there would be no growth. Through this past year, some students have been complaining, myself included at times, about school. Actually, a while back, I was planning on starting my speech with the line, free at last, thank God Almighty we are free at last. But in the past month, after some of us went to Canada and after the trip to Washington, our eyes have opened and we've realized that next year we won't have the security that we have now. We'll be faced with new choices, new people, and a different way of life. In fact, this might be the last time we see some people ever again in our lives. On this memorable day, we, the class of 1998, close a large chapter in the book of life. From a mole in a hole with an arm, to flying tacos, to Mr. Cunningham's hysterically corny jokes. It's been 3 great and unforgettable years. And now we ask ourselves, where have these 3 years gone by? Well, as Ferris Bueller would say, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. I'd like to give you all a tiny glimpse of the future. September 1998. Anxious new freshmen, trembling, looking at the size of the seniors. We again look down, praying not to be noticed. The anticipation and fear haunts our minds, but this time we have more maturity and confidence to face it all. Thank you.
I told you he was special. That's a fine young man and a great speech, Joe. I stand before you here this evening as a very proud principal of these outstanding 8th graders. Before I formally present them to Mr. Walthoff and Mr. Fox, indicating their successful completion of our rigorous curriculum, I would like to extend some thank yous. First, I want to publicly thank all of the teachers, the secretaries, PTO members, custodians, school workers who have been such a special part of their lives, from their early days in kindergarten through their final year here at Whitehall. Special thanks to all of their teachers this year, including their 8th grade teachers, and especially their team leaders, Mr. Lisitcher and Mr. Dunn. Mr. Dunn could not be here tonight. His own child was graduated. He, of course, has his best wishes and love for the kids here. Secondly, I want to acknowledge a special group of people who do so much for these students and are often behind the scenes. Dr. Bethany LeMahieu, our Director of Research, Development, and Evaluation. Dr. Betty DiCavo, our Director of Special Services. Richard Davis, our Board Secretary. Steve Caffini, whose crew made all these arrangements that allow us to even come right in. He's our Buildings and Ground Supervisor. And of course, their wonderful, dedicated elementary principals who do such a great job